What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman here for OddsShopper.com, back for the first time, I guess. This is my MLB Prize Picks video. I had been doing NBA. The NBA season is running out. It is now MLB time. Monday through Friday, you're going to get this video. Today, you're getting 6 plays, so it's going to be a good time. But keep your eyes peeled. Make sure you're liking this video, subscribing to the channel, hitting the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. You don't want to miss it. You're going to get this 5 times a week. I'm excited to do it. I've been putting this out for the past 2 weeks now. I've been playing a little bit on the back end. I've been loving it. I hope you guys do as well. This is where it starts to get a little nerve-wracking because my focus is going to be on hitter fantasy scores, and we're going to be taking a lot of unders. That's not the most fun thing to go and get, but you know what is fun? Having money in your Prize Picks account. This is the way to do it. So we're going to kick this one off. You see it on the screen right now. Dansby Swanson, first player up. It's a late start, 9-10. Taking on the Pods on the road. Blake Snell, the opponent, not great here. You get the righty-lefty matchup, but Blake Snell's good. And Swanson's, I don't know, average at best. I got him projected for 6.7 fantasy points. The line at Prize Picks is set at 7 fantasy points. I think Swanson goes under this one 63% of the time. This is my favorite line at Prize Picks for today. And this is the first under that we're going to be taking. We've got 3 more unders to take. I made it a little bit better for you guys. We do have 2 overs to take, which we will get to. But we're starting it off with a Dansby Swanson under. Next up, we're taking another under. That's going to be for BRYAN This is an early game. Taking on the Royals. They are at home. They're taking on Mike Mayer, who is probably the long man for today. We're saying this pretty early in the day. It's not really going to change the equation too much. It's a righty-righty matchup for De La Cruz. It is a nice implied total at 4.6 runs, and he's an average-ish hitter. Looks a lot like Dansby Swanson in the aggregate. But all told, I think the line is a little too high. Set at 7.5. I got him at 7.4. I think he goes under that 61% of the time. And you can see the distribution on the screen. I want to make sure that it's clear here. If I have somebody projected for 7.5 and the line 7.5, you're going to want the under. Hitter scores skew lower than higher. They've got a longer right tail. And that's what you're seeing in that distribution on the histogram that I have on the screen. So don't overreact too much. You might even see projected fantasy points higher than the line, but we take an under. You got to wrap your head around that one a little bit. But for in this spot right now, we're taking BRYAN De La Cruz's under. Next up, we're getting to the first of 2 separate Royal unders, which I really do like stacking up a little bit on my card. First one's going to be Salvador Perez. Righty-lefty matchup against Braxton Garrett is actually beneficial, but I'm not really loving this spot for anything here for the Royals, at least based on where they set the lines, because the Royals now have a 3.8 run implied total. That is not very good. And I'm going to play into that a little bit here. This is where I wanted to talk about the way that projections look, because the line for Perez is set at 6.5. I have him projected for 6.9. People might see that and immediately think you need to take the over. That is not the case. I want to take the under here on Perez. And a big reason I want to take the under here on Perez is sort of the extremes of his performance. He projects with a 220 ISO. That's a big time number from a power perspective. But if he's not getting it from power, he's probably not getting it all that frequently. And that's where the extremes come into play. A lot of the time, Salvador Perez is going to have a low score, certainly less than that 6.5. When he doesn't, he's probably blowing it out of the water with big numbers, because one swing of the bat for Perez, with all the power that he has, and immediately you're talking about way over, we're talking double-digit fantasy points, one swing of the bat, you lose this immediately. Those are few and far between in this spot. That's why we're going under to Perez, and that's why we're going under to his teammate. Now, it's basically the exact same story for Bobby Witt. Same game, same matchup, same righty-lefty matchup, same expected runs, basically the same WOBA, basically the same ISO as well. These guys have some pop, and that's where it starts to get a little squirrely. The line for Witt is 8. I got him projected at 8.2. I think he comes under that 8 60% of the time. It's more about extremes. And if I'm limiting Salvador Perez, I want to limit Bobby Witt as well. You get a lot of correlation from some of these guys. A hit from Bobby Witt can score Salvador Perez. both guys getting some points in those situations. So if I'm going to take one under, I'm happy to take another under, especially when I think they both hit regularly. I want that synergy. So it's Perez under and it's Bobby Witt under. We're not big fans of the Royals today. Now, we can't just be cheering for unders. Sometimes we need a little bit of fun in our lives. We're going to Juan Soto, taking on the Cubs. You get the lefty-righty matchup against Kyle Hendricks. 4.7 run implied total for the Pods. Massive, massive WOBA for Juan Soto. Massive ISO for Juan Soto. We know what we're getting here. But for some strange reason, this line is set at 7. I've got Juan Soto projected for 9.5 fantasy points. 9.6 if you look at the bottom left corner of the screen. I think he goes over that 7 mark 56% of the time. That's the kind of gap you're looking for in terms of taking an over. This is set way too low. I think Juan Soto can attack here. I love the run environment for the Padres. If this were 7.5, it would probably be around a coin flip. The fact that you can get Juan Soto at 7, you got to take advantage right now. This is the best spot you can find to take an over for hitter fantasy scores on PrizePicks. Before I finish off my final pick, I want you guys to sign up at Chalkboard. You see the banner at the top of the screen. Link in the description. Now, this is just simply an app. Android or iPhone. It is totally free. This is not our app, but it is an app that we are using because we want to connect with you guys. We want to hang out with you guys. We want to talk prize picks, talk sports betting. You can even use the app to track those things. But ultimately, we just want a resource where we can all get together, talk about the things that we're attacking for the night, sweat together. Maybe everybody gets in together. Just like you get that community feel of all of us going for a Juan Soto over. That's what we're looking for here. And that's what we're trying to provide to you with Chalkboard. Again, no cost. This is a totally free app. If you're interested in hanging out with us and talking about sports, Chalkboard is the way to do it. Click the link in the description. Alrighty, guys, final pick for me, George Springer, and we're taking the over. Blue Jays are at home. They're taking on the Astros. Brandon Bielak on the hill. It is a righty-righty matchup. I don't care at all. Massive run total for the Blue Jays. 5.3 implied runs. You're expecting a lot of scoring. A lot of scoring means a lot of fantasy points. Obviously, George Springer, fantastic hitter. I got him projected for 9.5 today. With a line at 7.5, I think he goes over 55% of the time. I'm expecting a big, big day at a Springer. So this is the other over that we're getting to. 4 unders, 2 overs. That's how we're making our money today. There you go, folks. Card is on the screen, and I will review it tomorrow before we get started with Tuesday's plays. Don't forget, we're going to be here all the time, Monday through Friday. I don't want to miss it at all. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Please sign up at Chalkboard. Hell, sign up for PrizePicks with the link in the description. We're going to have some fun. It's not going to be the most fun things in the world. We're all going to be getting together. If you're following me on Twitter at Josh Engleman, we're going to be like, oh, Dansby Swanson had 2 fantasy points. What a great day. Those aren't going to be the most fun things until the money hits your account. Good luck, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow.